Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Music Theory with Guim. In this installment we'll be looking into how the chromatic mediant is used in the level clear Fanfare in Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Since this is a fanfare, it is, of course, a very short piece of music. But as we'll see in future uploads, the implemented chord progression is commonly associated to victory. As Roman numerals, the chord progression will look like this. In this piece, we'll be operating in the key of C major, meaning we'll be using C major, A flat major, and B flat major. We can categorize this as a use of modal mixture, with C major stemming from the major key as the 1 chord, while A flat major and B flat major are being pulled from the parallel minor key as flat 6 and flat 7 respectively, but the juxtaposition of C major and A flat major gives us a chromatic mediant relationship. In this particular case, the first bass note we hear on C major is the 5th, G, while A flat major and B flat major are first heard in root position. As a result, we hear an ascending bass line versus C leaping down to A flat and then walking up to the resolution of C. If you're paying attention to the bass line, then you'll see that yes, the chord does arpeggiate downwards, which changes the position of each chord, meaning C major doesn't stay in second inversion the entire time. But you know what they say about first impressions, right? So you need to bear in mind that what the listener first hears can have a lasting impression. So now that we can see what's going on, let's talk about why it sounds so good. Well, part of that has to do with the chromatic mediant relationship. We immediately hear the tonality getting stretched with chromaticism between C major and A flat major, and this intrigues the ear. So while C remains intact, E has been flattened to E flat and G has been raised to A flat. As a result, the two pitches are expanding in opposing direction or contrary motion, so we're going from a minor third interval stretching outward to a perfect fourth interval. And since we are so used to hearing diatonic music, our ears are going to latch onto this chromaticism even if we're not able to consciously decipher what we're hearing. Following A flat major, we remain in the minor mode for B flat major, but the resolve to C major returns to the sound of the major mode. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that these chords are stretching tonality to the breaking point, they're certainly not. But they are breaching the diatonic system, and this expands the color palette available for the music. Another aspect about this progression is a little more conceptual in nature, and that's that we're rising up for our resolution. We're starting down low and working our way up. And why is this relevant? Well, think of how we typically perceive being victorious. We usually display some sort of elevation in stature. We want to feel like we overcame something and that we're above it or on top of it. And when we're talking about overcoming something, we often refer to it as an uphill battle, meaning we're working upwards and fighting through it to get on top. So this chord progression bodes well for that concept because we're starting down low and working our way upwards. Even the way the arpeggios are implemented assists this concept. They rise from the bottom high up, but then they fall back down like we haven't quite made it. Then they try again and they rise even higher, but they still fall down. The third time, however, they rise up, they stay at that point like, hey, we're almost there, and then they rise up even further for the final resolution to C major. So yeah, pretty much in 4 seconds, this fanfare summarizes the struggle of this level, pats you on the back, and then says, hey, you still got more to do and you gotta get to that castle where she won't even be. But hey, this is a really important lesson to learn about composing music, especially for video games. A large part of what you're doing is creating an atmosphere for the gamer, so sometimes it's beneficial to conceptualize the music. But please don't misquote me, I have no idea if this is what Koji Kondo had in mind when he wrote this, or if it just happened. So with all of this said, does it really make a difference that we used chromatic harmony? Couldn't this work just as well in a major key? Well, let's find out. We'll listen to it as written, and then we'll modify it to fit inside only the major key. Let me know what you think of the differences between these two chord progressions in the comments below. If you have any questions, definitely drop those as well. In the meantime, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all future uploads. And if you want to upgrade your support, jump on over to Patreon and consider lending a hand. As an added bonus, you get to stay up to date with all the transcriptions I upload, which is pretty often, but you can also gain influence regarding what content I transcribe and what I analyze for videos. But until next time, this has been another episode of Music Theory with Guim.